What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we're going to be doing a pretty big video. Today we're giving you what you asked for. Today we're going to be going over the 10 best handguns for the money. Now, I've shot a lot of handguns. If you don't watch the channel or you're not a subscriber, make sure to check it out. We do at least 3 gun videos a week, and in the past 10 years, I have filmed over 1,000 videos. So we have plenty of firearms for you to check out. So it was awfully difficult for me to scale this down to the 10 best. Now, there's some killer guns on this list, and they're all for great prices. All of these I have tested. All these guns are going to be reliable, accurate, durable, and available. And all of these guns will be semi-automatic as well. Revolvers are going to be on a different list. Before we get into the video, I do want to mention my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because you got cool videos like this, and if you want to support the channel, that's the best way to do it. Go down to the link in the description below. I also want to mention a local homeless shelter in Ames, Iowa. It's the YSS. The donate page is in the description, so if you want to donate to those kids, you can. And then finally, I want to mention my ex. My ex got deleted 6 months ago, and I'm trying to build it back up, and we're going to leave that in the description below as well. So if you have an ex and you want to follow me, I'd really appreciate it. It's Honest Outlaw 86. Now let's get into it with number 10, and that is going to be the Ruger Security 380. Now the Ruger Security series is really more at number 10, but I like the 380 the best, so that's what I'm going to talk about. I can find these guns for somewhere around $250 to $300, and I think that is an extremely good price for the quality of gun that you get. First off, Ruger is a company that consistently delivers great guns for a low price. If you haven't checked them out, check out the 1022 if you're in for a rifle, but the Security 380 is one of my personal favorites all time for people who are smaller statured, have weaker hands, and need a little bit of assistance. First off, the 380 ACP is a lighter recoiling cartridge, and this happens to be a sort of full-size subcompact. Very similar in size to the Glock 26, and you get a 10 and 15 round capacity in this guy, which is a pretty impressive amount for the size of the gun. On top of that, it's very, very lightweight, even lighter than a Glock 26, and you get a fiber optic front with a blacked out rear. You get a safety, but most of all, you get the light racking system. The slide is so easy to rack that your grandma can do it, and she should, because stay strapped or get clapped. If your grandma was at the store and she was getting mugged, she would be in good hands with the Ruger Security 380 because of its reliability. It's very reliable. We have 1,000 rounds through this gun, and I think we've had 3 or 4 failures, which is honestly a pretty good percentage considering that it only costs $250. Add that to the fact that it's got a good trigger, comes with 2 mags, has a pretty good grip, just small enough to carry all day, but large enough to shoot really easy. It is very easy to rack, very easy to load the magazines, and the recoil impulse is very low. It's one of the best $250 you can spend in a firearm, but we're just warming up because it's number 10. In at number 9, probably the worst gun on the list, but also the cheapest, the Taurus G3 series. Now, the Taurus G3 is a gun that I really like for the money. They can be had for as low as $200, and they have some decent features. They have double strike capability. They have 3-inch or 4-inch models, so if you want a subcompact or a compact, you can get either one. They have a decent trigger, and they're a relatively reliable gun. I would say they're the least reliable gun on the list, but considering they're only $200, that's not so bad. On average, I've done 3,000 round reviews. I've had 4 different versions of this gun. 3 of them were perfect, and 1 of them had problems, and I think that's the percentage you can expect for the $200 price point with a 9mm. Overall, if you're looking for the most affordable 9mm pistol, and you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of reliability, but still achieve good shootability, accuracy, and feature set, the Taurus G3 is where it's at. In at number 8, we have a big step up from the previous 2 in my opinion, and that is going to be the Palmetto State Dagger series. Now, I sort of lumped in the Rock series with that as well because I didn't have enough space on this list to put them both. The Dagger is their 9mm gun, sort of a Gen 3 Glock clone with different features. They come in subcompacts, compacts, or even full size, and you get a lot of bang for your buck. Very reliable, very accurate, good triggers, and good sights, and you get all that for starting off at the $300 price point. I got a comped micro dagger from them in OD green that shot great for only $400. This Rock 5.7 here, which I kind of put in the class, is a 5-inch 5.7 pistol, and this gun has a 23 round magazine capacity. It's very accurate.
Not too bad.
Low recoil and very reliable, and I got this for 350 bucks. So it's really hard to beat PSA when it comes to value, and I think their Dagger series is probably one of their best. I've actually had better experience with their Dagger series than I have with their AR-15s. They all have good ergonomics, they sort of shoot like a Glock but slightly better, and you get them for half the cost, so what's not to love? In at number 7, we have an old classic. We're going to be talking about the Beretta M9 or the Beretta 92, depending on which one you get. They're basically the same gun. One's the military designation and one's for Italians. The Beretta M9 has been one of the most popular guns in the United States and the world since the early 80s. It was adopted by the United States military for over 3 decades and served very well. It is a double single action pistol, so it's a little bit different than the striker fired guns you've seen so far, where you get a long first trigger pull, but then when the slide cycles, you get that single action, that nice crisp light single action pull. Now the Beretta M9 series is absolutely vast, and you can get them starting off at 400 bucks all the way to 1500 bucks depending on what bells and whistles you want. This is a more expensive variation. This is the Beretta M9A4, but I've had the standard M9s and 92s, and they shoot awesome as well, especially for the money. Extremely reliable and one of the most proven guns that you can have. Honestly, one of the most proven military firearms on the planet, and if you can get that reliability, that durability, and more importantly, the holsters and accessories that comes with a gun that popular, and you can get it in double single action, which makes it a little bit safer to carry, you can get all that for 450 to 500 bucks, and I think it's an absolute steal. Super reliable, super accurate, very, very shootable, and is this thing pretty. In at number 6, we have one of my personal favorites, and that is going to be the Walther PDP. I talk about the Walther PDP a lot, and I'm sorry for that, but it is an absolute excellent gun, and I won't stop until you get one. Now, the Walther PDP is a striker-fired polymer frame pistol with a pre-cocked striker design, so it's a little bit different than a Glock, where it actually has a really good trigger. Think a Glock with better ergonomics with a 2011 trigger, and it's a little bit snappier than a Glock, but that's really the only downside. Polymer rail, polymer frame on it, front slide serrations, and rear. We have adjustable sights, we have an optics mounting system, we have an awesome trigger with a big old trigger guard, and then we have solid texturing. Now, these guns can start off at $500 to $550 and go all the way up to $1,200 to even $1,500 if you want the steel frame version. But if you stick with the polymer version, you're going somewhere between $500 and $1,000, and it's one of the most accurate and easy to shoot guns that you can get in that price point. The trigger is one of the interfaces with the gun that is the most difficult with handgun shooters, so the lighter, the crisper trigger, the better. Also, the trigger reset dictates how fast you can shoot the gun, and with a trigger reset this short, you can shoot it pretty freaking quick. We have multiple 1,000-round reviews of this gun as well as the Beretta M9, and you can check all those out on the channel. But long story short, they are extremely reliable. One of the most reliable handguns that you can buy, and for the fact that you can get it for a very affordable price is pretty impressive and is a definite indicator we are in the golden age of handguns. The guns have tons of different capacities and barrel length depending on what model that you get. You don't just have to get the 4.5 or the 5-inch model. They have 4-inch compact models as well, ranging from the same price points, $500 all the way to $1,000, depending on if you want to get cool triggers or maybe a compensator or maybe a magwell. You have lots of different options with the PDP, and holsters and accessories are readily available. On top of that, they have some of the best mags in the industry, so go out and get yourself a PDP. In at number 5, maybe my favorite gun on the entire list, but I like a lot of these guns. This is the Sig P365. This old girl has some wear. In case you haven't seen this guy on the channel, he's been featured in over a dozen videos, and the reason for that is because I love it. It is my personal favorite double single action pistol on the planet, and this was a personal carry gun of mine for a very, very long time. It's seen many different makeovers. It's had a couple different colors, it's had multiple sights, and now it has a absolutely beautiful trigger job from Cajun Gunworks, which I appreciate. Still rocking Talon grips on this guy, and it has been an absolute monster in my personal opinion. This gun is a 4-inch double single action pistol with internal slide rails, so the slide runs a little bit lower. It makes it feel lower in your hand when you shoot it, and I personally feel like it has a little bit less recoil, whether that be because of the internal slide rails, whether that be because of the double action system, but it just shoots a little bit softer and a little bit smoother for me personally than a lot of the striker striker fired guns. Add to the fact that I like to carry appendix, so if I carry appendix, the double action trigger gives me a little bit of safety for my junk, and my junk likes to feel safe, so I really like this gun for that. I've personally been shooting this for over a decade, and I absolutely love this gun. I love how the grip feels, but I also really love the CZ Shadow series, and this is sort of as close as you can get to a polymer frame counterpart. They have a larger variation as well called the CZ P9, which is also an absolutely excellent gun. So if you want to get one of these and then you want to get a full size, you can do that as well. And both of them can be had for under $500, which is extremely impressive. The gun has a 15 round magazine capacity out of the box, but you can put 17 and 19 round mags in it as well. So you have all the capacity you need in your 9mm double action to get any job done you need. In at number 4, we have the Sig P365 series. So the Sig P365 was the first gun to implement the stack and a half technology, or at least the most popular. One of the smallest and lightest 9mm handguns you can get on the planet, and certainly the smallest reliable and shootable 9mm handgun you can get on the planet. Less than an inch wide, only 22 ounces, and you can shoot it out to 100 yards. At 100 yards with the Spectre comp, I gotta turn my dot down a little bit here. It's a polymer frame striker fired pistol, but it has a fire control unit inside it, so you can a la carte it any way you like. Now, this one here is my wife's actual carry gun that she carries all the time in her lovely pink holster. Now, this gun here actually has an EPS carry on it from the Shield RMS cut that the gun has in it, and it comes with a compensator on the top with HD sights and an absolutely beautiful trigger. Now, they're not all this awesome. This one is pretty expensive at over $1,000 bucks, but you can get a standard P365 without all the Gucci fixins for around $500, and I think they're absolutely worth it. There are so many P365s, I will just mention a few. The standard is around $500. The X Macro is one of my personal favorite. It's the 17 round P365 with the included comp on it. It's about $600. It's a great gun as well. And then the P365 XLs, there's a dozen of them. Check out whichever color, flavor, and feature set that you want, and I'm sure it'll be worth the money. The guns come from a 10 round magazine all the way up to a 19, depending on which one you get, and there's more options than you can shake a stick at, so go over to the gun store and start shaking. In at number 3, we have maybe my favorite gun. This is the M&P series. Now, this is my personal carry gun right here. You got to see my wife's, now you're going to see mine, and we run the same optic, and we run actually a pretty similar setup, except for I run Smith, so mine's better. I have a dual compensator instead of the slide mounted one. Mine's actually in the barrel. This is the Performance Center Shield Plus, and I love the M&P 2.0 series because of what it brings to the table as far as features versus money. So the gun has an absolutely beautiful trigger, flat face trigger that breaks at 90 degrees. We have some slide cuts on the front and the rear. We have an optics mount, and then we have fiber optic sights with great texture, and a 10 round, 12 round, and a 15 round magazine, all for around $600. But this is one of the expensive M&Ps. If you get a classic 2.0 like this 4-inch guy right here with not any of the frills, you can get one of these guys for around $400-ish if you look, and I think that's an incredible deal. This gun we actually left out for a few months a couple years ago. We left it out loaded. It got rained on, it got snowed on, and I picked it right up and shot it. I mean, it's an absolutely unbelievably reliable gun. On top of that, incredibly proven, not only in civilian use, but in law enforcement use. The M&P is one of the most used law enforcement pistols in the country, and it's because it has the same old 1911 style grip angle, but all the features that you would want in a polymer frame Wonder 9. It comes in either 3-inch barrels, 3.5, 4-inch, 4.5, or 5-inch barrels, depending on which ones that you want. Smith has so many different models of the M&P, you're gonna have to figure out for yourself what color you want, from OD to tan to black. Maybe you want a compensator, maybe you want a red dot mount, maybe you want extra mag capacity, maybe you want a magwell. You can get all of that from Smith for a really affordable price. Even their metal series, which is like their elite of the elite, is around $1,000, and you get an absolute shit ton of value for the cost. On top of that, magazines and holsters are available everywhere. If you're even remotely interested in M&P, definitely pick one up. They're certainly worth the money. In at number 2, just shy of the best, and believe it or not, it was number 1 here for a little bit till I switched them around, and I'll tell you why here in a second, and that is going to be the CZ P10 series. Now, the CZ P10 is the striker-fired polymer frame Wonder 9 from CZ, and this is really one of the best guns that you can get. On top of that, you can find them for as low or even lower than $300 if you look, and I have purchased several of them for that price, so it's not a fluke. it happens. Now, it has a beautifully milled slide. We have steel sights right out of the factory with front side serrations and one of the better striker fired triggers that you can get, especially for the $300 price point. They have a 3-inch version, which is the S. They have a 4-inch version, which is the C here, or the compact. And they have a 4.5 version, which is the F, which is the full size. All of them shoot extremely well. All of them have a really comfortable grip with a really, really high tang on the back of the beaver tail, so you can get a really low axis. Look how high that is over my hand. That's why these guns are so shootable. It has a Picatinny rail up front, great customer service, and it's one of the most reliable striker-fired pistols you can buy. All of that for $300. Making it very, very close to #1 on my list. The only thing that kept it out of the #1 spot is sadly there just aren't as many variations of this gun or many different models you can pick up from the gun store than you can the #1. There's only a couple different variations of this and a couple different colors, but for the price point, they're absolutely excellent. Now, we did have some honorable mentions that I'm going to go through real quick. The IWI Masada series is incredible. They have some micro 9s, some full sizes, and they can be had for around $350 to $400. Pretty awesome. The Ruger LCP and the LCP Max, pretty awesome gun if you're looking for a tiny little pocket gun. These are a great choice. Obviously, the Springfield Echelon was close to making the list. Lots of features, great optics mounting system, stupid reliable for around $600-700. And then we have the Stealth Arms Platypus, which I think is the best 2011 for the money. This is my wife's. Can you tell? Can you tell it's my wife's? But you can get these guys for under $2,000, and they come with Glock mags, optics mounting system, slide cuts, custom colors, whatever you want out of the bag. I think it's a pretty good deal. Now, I know 2011s are pretty expensive, which is why I didn't make it to the list, but I figured if you were interested in a 2011 and you wanted to get the best bang for your buck, check out this pink guy. You don't have to get it in pink. That being said, we're gonna get right into it with #1. And I think maybe some of you have guessed it by now, and if you have, put it in the comment section and I'll wait. It's the Canik. Canik has been kind of the king of the budget guns for the last decade. The first time I saw one of these was on a Nothing Fancy video, and I was like, I don't know if I want to buy a Turkish gun. And I went out and picked one up, and I haven't looked back. I probably have had 15 to 20 models of the Canik since then, and all of them have been pretty excellent. And every one of them has been extremely high value. The most recent one is the new Meta. This one is the MC9 LS, the 4-inch version of their micro. So it's a micro compact that's only 1 inch wide. It's less weight than a Glock 19, and it carries 17+1 with an optics mounting system, steel sights, slide serrations, and a trigger that rivals the PDP because the Canik is also a pre-cock striker gun, so it has that same excellent trigger. Now, the real star of the show for Canik is always going to be the price. The value of it is incredible. You can find them for as low as $350. This one here, you can get already ready to go for around $500. And I don't think you can find a Canik for over $1,000. The TTI gun, and that one comes with a compensator, all the tricked out stuff, extra slide serrations, extra texturing, and obviously comes from Terran. Those guns normally are $3,000 to $4,000, and you can have that one for $1,000. So as far as value in a 9mm striker fired pistol, these are polymer frame strikers, by the way, and the amount of versatility in the models, I don't think anything beats Canik. You can get anything from a 3-inch micro 9, you can get a 3-inch subcompact that takes the big mags, you can get a micro compact, you can get a regular compact of full size, or you can get a long slide. You can get them with comps or without, get them in tons of different colors, you can get them in 2 colors if you want. Literally everything is at your disposal if you go for a Canik, and it's really hard to beat. On top of that, they are very reliable, very accurate, and very fast. These guns, even though they're affordable, have won multiple national championships with Nils Johansson. If you want to see somebody shoot faster than you can see, go check that guy out, and he's shooting a basically stock Canik. Overall, I think they're the best semi-automatic pistol for the money, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think I missed a few? I probably did, because there's a shitload of guns, and if I did, I want to check them out. So again, put your list in the comment section below, and if you want to see any other videos like this, make sure to put that in the comment section below as well. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like the video, and please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.